Now, this movie wasn't released in theaters, but part 1 of this came out in September of last year, and I wanted to review it, but it got lost in a mix, and I wasn't really consistent with my reviews around that time last year, so I really wanted to review part 2 of this, because I loved part 1 of The Dark Knight Returns, and now I'm going to review part 2, so here we go. The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 is the second half of the adaptation of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns graphic novel, which I have read and I love, and that's why I really wanted to see this. I wanted to see all the things I remember from that come to life on the small screen. Now, for those of you who don't know the story of The Dark Knight Returns, Bruce Wayne is really old now. He's been retired for years as Batman. He's really, like, down in the dumps because he really doesn't know what to do with himself at this point because he was just really meant to be Batman. He's originally looking for the perfect death because he really doesn't care anymore. Things that transpire in part 1, there's this mutant gang that's rising up in Gotham and taking over, and of course they have this big giant leader, and Two-Face is involved in some way. I don't want to spoil that. So he comes back as Batman, and he eventually takes on a new Robin, and she's a girl this time, and he's apprehensive about that because of what's happened in the past to Robins, but you know what? He takes her on, and the story keeps progressing, and there's the Joker in there. I don't want to say too much about it, because it's a really, really good story. If you haven't read it, you should read it and watch these movies, because they're fantastic. I was so excited to see this second half of this story unfold, and it was so amazing. It was so well done. I don't know too many people in the voice cast, but most of them are fantastic. Peter Weller, RoboCop, he plays Bruce Wayne, and he's really, really good in this role. There's just one scene in the movie, in this specific part, that I thought wasn't that good, because he's trying to rally all these troops and get ready, like, Gotham is out of power and they're going to stop all the riots that are happening, and he's rounding up all these guys, and he's just sitting there with no emotion whatsoever to try and get them going. He's just sitting like, "We will control Gotham tonight. We are the law." Yeah, he steals Judge Dredd's line, oh well. And also, Michael Emerson plays the Joker, and he is awesome in this movie. He is very quiet, he's calculating, he's just really in control, but he's menacing at the same time. And of course, he is insane, he is the Joker. The rest of the voice cast is great as well. There was no weak link that I could think of, so that is great. Moving on, the animation in the movie, these movies are animated. It is so amazing and breathtaking. All the visuals that are involved in this. I'm not sure if this was hand-drawn, I doubt it is, but at times it kind of seemed like it. It was just so well done, the colors were vibrant, there were some amazing shots like that I remember from the graphic novel, so those were great to see. The fight scenes aren't muddled down with a bunch of jump cuts, because you know it's animated, so that's a huge plus. Branching off that, the action in both of these movies were fantastic, especially in The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. Part 1 had some great action in it, but it felt a little bit slow at times. This time there's great action, there's great story, it just keeps going between the action and the story perfectly. There's a great entire scene that lasts a really good amount of time with the Joker and Batman at a carnival, and it ends with such an amazing scene. The end of the movie, Batman faces off with Superman. It's just such an epic fight. It's so awesome. I loved seeing this come from page to screen. I don't know how people who haven't read the graphic novel will feel about this, because I kind of am just fanboying out because of all the things I remember from it, but I still think that a lot of people would enjoy this. So yeah, if you haven't seen Dark Knight Returns Part 1, go see that and then watch Part 2. It's such a great thing. I would love to watch these movies together. I didn't get the chance to today because Part 2 came out today and I just went ahead and watched that. It's just such an enthralling story. There's so many cool different elements in the movie that keep you invested. The action is great in both of these. The voice acting is phenomenal. The animation is breathtaking. I'm gonna give The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 an A. It's so amazing. It's so worth your time. Definitely check this out any way you can. So have you guys read The Dark Knight Returns, the graphic novel? If you have you seen the movies? Even if you haven't, have you seen the movies? And which part did you like better? I personally like this part better. It was such a great conclusion. Ready to leave comments down there and tell me what you think. And if you like this video, hit that subscribe button down there, because if you don't, I'm gonna get some of that Joker lipstick on you.